Hello students, today we will study the second chapter of Hornbill, that is, we are not afraid to die if we can all be together, written by Gordon Cook and Alan East. The chapter deals with a voyage, that is, journey through ocean. Let us discuss about the chapter and its theme first. The chapter is an adventurous story about a family in which a couple and their two kids, they complete their journey through ocean in the most crucial weather. There were certain disasters caused by it, but they struggled a lot and overcome on every problem. In this chapter, the captain plans to go around the world on a sea voyage and takes along his wife Mary, daughter Suzanne, and son Jonathan. They both are young kids of 7 and 6 and very much enthusiastic for this journey. To complete this journey, they designed a boat called Wave Walker, which was fully furnished and well prepared to face any harsh weather and storm in the ocean. But consequently, in mid of the ocean, they faced certain challenges and they displayed their outstanding courage, determination, and strong willpower. In this way, they survive the duress of the weather, and captain emerges a hero in the eyes of everyone. Let us discuss with the first part of the chapter, which describes about the boat, the family who all were there in the crew. Gordon Cook, the author of the chapter, cherished a dream. He wanted to copy the world record of Captain James Cook round the world voyage, and to imitate this, they built a boat named Wave Walker. The weight of the boat was 30 tons and the length was 23 meters. The couple spent 16 years to plan and to improvise their seafaring skills. They both were working, but whenever they got their leisure time, they spent that time to finish and polish their seafaring skills. Finally, after 16 years, they were perfect and well trained to fulfill this dream. They test the boat Wave Walker for months in the rough waters, and then finally they begins the historic journey from Plymouth, England in July 1976 along with family. They were all four members in the family: the captain himself, his wife Mary, who was 37 years old, their son Jonathan, who was 6 years old, and the daughter Suzanne, who was 7 years old. The first phase of journey was quite smooth by the west coast of Africa to Cape Town. Along with themselves, they hired two crewmen, Larry Wiesel, an American, and Herb Sizzler, a Swiss. Now the crew was ready to go through the world's roughest sea, the Indian Ocean. When they reaches in the middle of the ocean, all of a sudden there was an ominous silence all around. These were the signs of upcoming storm. The sailor encountered strong wind and huge waves. The size of the waves was as high as mountains, and day by day it was getting higher. The height of the waves was around 15 meters, but they all keep patient and had faith. Finally, Christmas comes and they celebrated it wholeheartedly. The weather continued to be rough, but they did not lose hope. On January 2nd, it was the disaster day. The weather got worse. Huge waves were rising. The sailors were tensed as the sea seems to be rolling towards them. They took some precautionary actions to protect themselves and to protect the boat as well. They slowed down the boat, dropped the storm zip, and double lashed everything and go through life raft drill. Means they tied up everything, whatever things were there on the board of ship, and before starting this voyage they took the training how to save their life in the crucial situation. So they follow all those tricks. They wore their life jackets, they don oilskins and attached the lifelines through the belts. Around 6 p.m. the wind dropped and it turned to be ominous dark. They were thinking the sky was getting very dark, as if a big black cloud was coming over the ship. But all of a sudden, the captain realized that the thing which was feeling as if it is a cloud, it was not actually a cloud, but it was a gigantic wave. Its height was almost twice of other waves. Means The height of this wave was around 30 feet and it was almost vertical. The wave strikes the deck of the boat. Now, the boat is full of water. The narrator is badly injured, his head smashed on the wheel, is tossed, thrown into the stormy water, accepts the approaching death. Means, when the author, the captain, faced the wave, his head was smashed and he was floating on the water like a rag doll. He was surrendered through this situation and he accepted that definitely we all are going to die. He started losing his consciousness, but it was a miracle that somehow he regained his consciousness. He summoned courage, collected all his energy, and manages to come into the boat. The boat capsizes. The prow of the boat nearly dipping into the water. Another wave puts the ship upright. Means the boat was almost near to drown and it was taking more and more water inside through the damaged sections. The narrator was not in a good condition. His ribs were cracked, teeth were broken, and his mouth was filled with blood. When he came into the consciousness, he started searching for other members of the crew. He found Larry and Herb busy pumping out water like madmen. Somehow he reached to the children's cabin. He found Suzanne had a huge bump on her head. But the narrator had no time to notice it, as he was searching something to repair the broken sections of the boat. He comes back to the deck, makes necessary repairs through the nails, the canvas he got from the kids' cabin. He put those canvas sheets on the gaping holes. The water hand pumps get blocked through the garbage floating on water, and the electric pump was short circuited. Now, the narrator used the reserve electric pump kept under the charter floor. Somehow, water level in the boat brought under control. Now they were trying to contact to the people who can send some aid to them, but there was no reply to their mayday calls. They felt so unlucky. Suzanne's injury was getting worse. There was a cut on her arm and her eyes was badly swollen. Children tried to console their father and raised his spirit. Now, on January 3rd, the situation was eased. The boat was badly damaged. The captain doubts the boat could reach Australia or not. Captain knows that something must be done immediately. He went to the charter room, realized that the only way to be safe is to reach two small islands which were few kilometers away in the east. The island is called Ile Amsterdam, which was a French scientific base. Again on January 4th and 5th, there were threats. The captain and crewmen have been pumping out water continuously for 36 hours. Now there was little water in the boat. The captain hoisted the storm jib and moved in the direction of two islands. Again there was a problem. There was a black cloud built up again at around 4 p.m. Sea soars up and the people on board become tense again. The conditions keep worsening. During this crucial time, the kids showed tremendous courage and support to their parents. Showing that immense courage, they consoled their father, saying, "We are not afraid to die if we can all be together." Jonathan's words, a source of inspiration, filled the captain with new energy. The captain determined to save everyone. Wave Walker finally survived the storm. Captain worked on wind speed, changes the course, checks and rechecks the calculation as the main compass was lost. He instructed Larry to steer the boat at 185 degrees and expected to reach the island around 5 p.m. He went back to deck, and as he was too tired and because of this exertion, he dozed off. He got up at 6 p.m. The kids came to him, hugged him, and called, "The best daddy," and "the best captain as well." Finally, they reached Ile Amsterdam, welcomed by the people there. Captain learned a lesson that courage and presence of mind and will together can make things easy and a person successful. Students, here are the difficult words of the chapter. You can go through these words while reading the chapter. Thank you.